Okay, I don't really know where this is gonna go, but the biggest thing that is on my mind and has been on my mind for the entire 2 months I've been watching this is Attack on Titan. So I ended up finishing Attack on Titan. There will probably be spoilers in this video, just because I need to talk about it with somebody. I'm gonna go crazy. And my boyfriend who I watched it with is currently in Canada, so can't really talk to him about it. I watched Attack on Titan when I was a kid. It was when it was coming out, so I only watched up to season 2, but I didn't really understand any of it. It's weird for me to say that looking back because I feel like it was such a complete and full story. Click off of this video if you have not finished it, please, because enjoying this series is something that can only come once in your entire lifetime, because once you watch it once, you can never watch it again. I'm trying to paint Mikasa from memory. I don't know how good that's gonna go, but let's see. I'm blown away. I don't think I even have true words about this. Mikasa is a character, a lot of people are saying that she was kind of the main character in a way, and I could see that. I could see that being a possibility. I also really like the theory that it was told from Armin's point of view, which is why Eren's eye color kept changing all the time. And this was kind of, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty much confirmed at the end, or it was given a little nod, because Armin was like, all right, we have to tell them our story. We have to, I don't know, make Eren not look like such a jerk. The fact that you have no idea in the entire world where this story is going until it's over. And even then you're still wait a minute, what happened there? It's incredible. And one of my favorite things about it is just the fact that there is no good. There is no villain. You could argue that a lot of people are the villain for a lot of different reasons, but Armin I consider to be one of the best characters in the entire anime morally, and he is still out here oh, I know I'm going to hell. And God, the most heartbreaking scene in the entire thing was the one where Armin was beating up Eren for not acknowledging Mikasa's feelings, and him just absolutely breaking down because that's all he wanted, was to just be with her. His destiny got in the way of that. And it's that's so tragic. And it's not even just Eren and Mikasa who went through that. It's so many other duos were split up. Okay, lock in. Okay, maybe these eyes are too big, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. I'm still grieving, and I don't know how to talk about it properly. I genuinely don't know how to talk about it properly because it was one of the best pieces of media I think I've ever seen. I saw a post that was let's be real, if Attack on Titan wasn't an anime, it would be widely renowned as one of the best pieces of film ever. And I fully agree with that. There's so much stigma around watching anime. And I personally I'm not huge into it. I'm honestly not I don't watch a lot of animes, you know? A little part of me is embarrassed to be God, I really love Attack on Titan, because I know how people who've never seen it are gonna look at me. When I was a kid, I used to love making video edits, and I literally after I finished this, I was inspired to get back into editing. And I made a cute little edit of Hanj, because she's one of my favorite characters. I would love to cosplay her. I'm also sick, so if I sound like a nasally annoying little brat throughout this video, I apologize. I just got home from college for the summer. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna have her holding her scarf, maybe. I don't know how to paint hands. Oh my god. Especially with, this is gouache, by the way. This is not, oof. Okay, but I haven't seen a ton of animes. I used to actually consider Attack on Titan one of the only animes that I've ever watched. I honestly just can't believe that that's where the story went. I remember halfway through being man, I'm not really into this anymore because, like, they're fighting people. Like, the reason I had such, like, fond memories of this when I was a kid was all, like, the ODM gear and, like, the fact that they fought Titans and they were really cool, like, flying through the air. There was a very clear hero. I'm also a little bit confused on the infinite loop thing because, like, I get it. Does that mean that Eren is just, like, constantly living in a loop over and over and over again, and even after Mikasa, like, passes away, he'll never have a chance to be with her in, like, that afterlife that we saw Hanjin? I don't know. Also, people are kind of confused about Mikasa. I thought that Mikasa was half of a subject of Ymir because her father was a subject of Ymir. Like, I'm pretty sure that was said in that scene where she was kidnapped with her mother. Also, of course, Levi, he's awesome. One thing I was surprised about as someone who, like, kind of only watched to season 2 initially and, like, kind of observed the fandom from afar through, like, friends in school, was the fact that Levi wasn't, like, as much of a clean freak as people made him out to be. They just, like, really liked him dressed up in that cleaning outfit, and they ran with it. Another thing that, like, really surprised me was obviously all the plot twists, because when I was watching season 2, humanity did not exist outside of the walls. I was asking questions the entire time, like, who built the walls? Like, why are the walls there? How is there not any surviving humans outside of the walls or inside the walls? Like, how did they even get there in the first place? And to my shock, that was all answered. Oh, and the whole, like, Marley thing, that came up pretty, I don't want to say, like, quickly, because it was towards the end of the series, but we spent a lot more time there than I would have thought we would. And, like, on those characters than I would have thought we would. Like, Gabby. Gabby did start to grow on me. I know everyone hates her, and I'm not gonna lie, I do too. I would not be a fan of this series if I didn't hate Gabby. I started to understand where she was coming from. I think she was a little too brainwashed. But I think that was, like, kind of the whole point. Oh, she's getting too much hair. We are getting too much hair. In the scene where Peak was pretending to have gone against the Marleyan government, in front of Gabby, and then it was, like, revealed that she was just faking that, Gabby was like, all that stuff you said, is it true? When she was saying, like, how they didn't really care about subjects of Ymir and they were just using them as, like, to fight their battles for them. And she kind of dodged that question and was like, you know, she said, I don't fight for the people who are putting me in this system, I fight for them. And then she pointed to the airship where all of her, like, comrades and friends were. And, like, that, I think, summarizes the entire, like, lesson of the anime so well. But it's not even that simple. I genuinely think my life has changed. Eren's story, specifically, was, like, incredibly cruel. I was genuinely convinced, like, the entire time that Eren was the villain. Which, again, after watching season 1, I would have been like, you're crazy. But now that I'm, like, halfway through the series, I'm like, okay, I get it. I would have never predicted that Eren would even become a villain in any capacity. But at the end, it's still a debate. Like, was he really the villain? I'm not going to get into the argument of, was Eren justified or not in killing 80% of the global population. I don't know. I had this conversation when I was watching it too, with my boyfriend. That violence was brought upon them, and they were the only ones that had the capacity to stop it. And the only way to ensure that Titans were never used for bad ever again was to wipe out the existence of all Titans. Because Eren knew in doing what he did that he was going to be sacrificing the very few years that he had left. That he was going to be causing a lot of innocent people to die. He gave Armin, Reiner, Peak, Falco so many more years left of their life. And he eradicated Titans, like he said he was going to do in the beginning. I thought that was really cool. The whole part where Eren was like, I'm going to kill all the Titans. We had no idea how, but we knew because of the spirit that we were told that he had, that he was going to do it. You know? Like, watching season 1, you're like, this kid is not that powerful. There's no way he's gonna do it. But I have a feeling that by the end, he's somehow gonna become powerful enough to do it. And God, I did not anticipate just how he was actually gonna do that. I can see that he's gonna kill all the Titans. That is predictable. The best thing about this series is how unpredictable it was the entire time. Like, I thought I knew what was going on so many different times. Spoiler, I knew nothing. I knew nothing at all. And, like, I love things like that. It just made everything hit so much harder in ways I cannot explain. Can we talk about Mikasa? Because her as a character, like, it's the most heartbreaking thing ever. Because Eren's whole thing the entire time was making sure that people were free. Like, they weren't listening or, like, doing things because they felt like they had to. Mikasa was the only person who was truly acting, like, just on her own accord because she loved Eren. That is so clear. Just because of the whole, like, thing with Ymir and, like, the tiebacks to that, where at the end they were like, she loved the king, so that's why she stayed. I'm like, that is heartbreaking. But the fact that Eren tried in every universe, in every possible timeline, to see what would happen if there was a possibility that he could run away with her and stay with her, and he realized that each one of those universes would end badly. It was just such a painful watch in a good way. In a very, very, very good way. It was a painful watch. Red. Oof. It's not the right color, but we'll figure it out. None of this is really the right color. I'm just drawing and painting because, like, I have nothing interesting to add, I feel like, to the overall debate or anything about the show. I just want to talk about it. I just want to express some, like, admiration for it. I think the most interesting part that I can add might be the perspective where I picked it up as a kid. I watched it for, I don't know, like about 2 seasons, and then I stopped. Honestly, the reason I stopped wasn't even because I was bored with it. It was because I forgot about it. Like, because they were coming out, like, week after week after week. I could not imagine those of you who actually kept up with the series and watched it week after week. I would have lost it. Because there is no way that you couldn't just sit down and, like, watch this in one sitting. So I'm hoping that you're not at this point, if you haven't watched the series, because if I spoil it for you, I'm so sorry. Like, genuinely, like, you need to just watch this the first time with no idea of what's going on. This is also so random, but, like, exactly what I'm painting, like, the thing with the scarf. I think it's, like, the red string of fate. It ties 2 people together. That was just crazy to watch, because I knew, like, somehow that Mikasa and Eren were gonna be together. Like, there's no doubting that they were meant to find each other in every universe, and that is just beautiful to me. I haven't watched the spin-offs of Attack on Titan, but I do know that they get together in literally every single universe. So that's what's getting me through this right now. There's pieces of media where they're happy together. I made them on my Tomodachi Life Island before I even finished the series, because I just had a feeling in my heart that they weren't going to be able to get together, even though they, like, obviously, like, red string of fate, they are attached to each other. I just knew, like, they weren't going to let us off that easy and just give us a happy ending. Am I grateful for what we were able to get with Mikasa and Eren? Yes. We didn't get a lot, but we got enough. And just the fact that he gave her one universe where he ran away with her, I am so gutted. I'm absolutely gutted by this beautiful creation. It was gory, it was violent, but it commented on human nature and humanity in a way that I've never seen before. And people are kind of afraid to acknowledge that side of humanity, like the violence that's kind of just inside of us innately. But that is why we have wars. That's why we have all of these things going on, because someone wants something and everyone believes that they're on the right side. It is a complete coincidence that I started rewatching this and I finished it, like, right when it came out in theaters again. Was not able to see it. I think it's happening today. I don't think I live near any of the theaters that are showing it, But even if I did, can I handle watching that again? Not right now. Probably not for a couple years, unless it's clips and edits, because of course. The Boys, which attempts to comment, it's attempting to comment on a very similar thing that Attack on Titan is commenting on in a different way, and as much as I love that series, it is not nearly as effective. I mean, yeah, it's a lot different because it's talking about like real life politics that are currently happening, and I think Attack on Titan is as well, but I am not really familiar with like the actual situation in Japan that I think it would be commenting on. This is not going to be a perfect drawing. There's a trend right now where it's like draw Attack on Titan characters from memory and like guess which one's my favorite, or like guess which one's the author's favorite. It is so funny. How do I make this actually look like Mikasa? Let's see. Don't ask why I'm using blue for the hair. I just felt like it, I guess. But how did you guys react when you watched it for the first time? I don't know how to even recommend it to people because it's an anime, and I would only have success in recommending it to people who also watch anime. But again, I'm not that deep into anime. Which ones have I genuinely seen? Off the top of my head, Bunny Girl Senpai, Hanako. Those are the ones I've like finished. I watched the first season of One Punch Man. I don't know if that counts. I think mangas are pretty fun. But I'm an artist, so, you know. This is a very, like, poor example of, like, my artwork, by the way. This is just, like, a by the fly, no reference. Also using gouache, once again. This material is not a very friendly one. The thing with anime and the thing with painting it in, like, basically watercolor, is the whole idea with smooth lines that are just not gonna happen. The most important part. The scar that Eren gave her. Like, the end of the world was happening, and they were still trying to fight each other. They were still, like, trying to justify their hate. And, like, at the end of the day, there is no justification for anything. If anything, Attack on Titan just made me incredibly grateful that I have no desire in going into political science. Because if I was a political science major and I watched Attack on Titan, I think I would drop out. Okay, this is a little better. I'm, like, not hating this as much anymore. Now, I am not incredible at drawing ship art with gouache or with a material that I'm actually comfortable with. But God, if I could, I would draw, I think it's called Eremika, their ship name. I would just draw them having the nicest little life together. This poor girl, okay, I should not have done that. But this poor girl went through so much. And she was just in love. She was just in love. I don't think I talked about Armin enough. Because I love him too. Definitely didn't talk about him enough, but this video is already getting way too long. This is kind of the problem. Like, because I will work on something forever if I'm given the opportunity. Ooh, that was kind of fancy. I didn't really even mean to do that. Ooh, no, I gave her the Armin hairstyle. How do I fix? There we go. Yeah, see, I'll work on something forever and then I'll, like, add a couple brush strokes that just absolutely ruin the entire thing. She has, like, more... Yeah, there we go. I just gotta make sure there's, like, a little bit of down right here. This took me 48 minutes. Here she is. Mikasa Ackerman. Yep, that's my paint and chat. See ya!